This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Howard Stern thing, because Trump addressed it. Trump had something to say about Howard and Stephen Colbert and the fact that Colbert was canceled. I think Howard or Trump wants to kind of take responsibility for that. And I said it before, a lot of things, attitudes, ideology, maybe not ideology, but the attitudes of Americans have really changed, or at least the people that had any bit of common sense are being heard right now. They're the ones being heard. They're the ones kind of dictating policy. The idea that a child of 7, 9, 12 years old can decide their sexuality, and the parents are happier than a pig in crap, as they say, to take them to a doctor and have them mutilated and drugged and whatnot. That enough. People said enough. They always have said enough, but it just wasn't being heard. Under this Trump administration, not that Trump had anything to do with it, but the fact that he was elected kind of gave people more confidence to speak out about this. And it gave the people that were pushing it less confidence. But that's how it goes. And I think another one of these things is entertainment. I think these late night talk shows are dinosaurs. Colbert and Kimmel. Fallon is just kind of, I really don't have any animosity toward Fallon. I think he'll do whatever management tells him to do. And I really think they didn't see Fallon as a guy that could, like a pit bull, go after Trump politically. So they just told him, like, really just leave this stuff alone. Crack an egg over Sydney Sweeney's head. Everyone will laugh. And that's the Tonight Show now. That's your show. So, things have changed. Things have definitely changed. And, I think people are trying to link this change and Trump to the recent story we heard about Howard. Serious. It's been said that they don't want to re-sign Howard. I don't think Howard's going anywhere. I think he would absolutely take $20 million a year. Oh, believe me, he'll be in poverty. Imagine relegated to only $20 million a year. What do you do? SNAP benefits, they've taken that away. Imagine Howard trying to buy soda or candy and not being able to because SNAP has recently said you can't do that. Only $20 million. So people are going, oh, he wouldn't take that. From $100 million a year to $20 million, he'll take it. Howard's addicted to the microphone, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I would have trouble. I wouldn't want to stop doing this myself. I know there are a lot of people that continue to talk into a microphone regardless of who, or more importantly, who isn't listening. There are people out there that had huge radio careers that, there's 30 people listening to them, and they continue doing it because there's this addiction to attention and that microphone. And I think Howard has that. I think he's a little delusional as to where he is right now. He was the greatest radio personality ever. That is undeniable. People have accused me of going, oh, you don't know, say Howard started this or he was huge, and what you're saying is you're jealous, you're one of, like, I've always been a fan of Howard years ago, and I've never said he didn't deserve every accolade he got in radio broadcasting. But as time goes on and as you change as a person, or not even change, maybe the camouflage of who you presented yourself as on air, comes away. It falls down and people start seeing you for who you really are. And I think more older people do that. They don't feel committed to a character anymore. And they're like, screw this. I'm just going to be me. And the Howard that is me is, he's really, we always knew he was a weirdo, But this whole political thing, like alienating half of your audience, is telling people that if you're a MAGA supporter, he not only wants you to not listen, but he wants you to die. Unvaccinated people, he said if they go to the hospital, they should be kicked out and made to die at home. He was a political shill for the left for the past few years. And the straw that broke the camel's back was that disgusting interview with Joe Biden. It looked like he put on a relative suit that was too big for him to, show respect. And then he just crowed about the amazing job Joe Biden did and how unbelievably qualified he was. He went on to say how the Biden family was an amazing group of people and that Joe showed he cared. And that's what we need. He called Joe the father of our country. It was so incredibly embarrassing that this was the guy who had the KKK guy on, who had Gilbert Gottfried on. And Gilbert would interrupt Robin's news in such a hilarious, horrible way that you could not breathe while you were listening to it. I sat in my truck at a job site that I was supposed to start working at 8, and I did not get out of the truck until 11, praying the show would end. They kept coming back and doing more, and Gilbert's on, and Jackie, and Fred, and I'm dying laughing. I am not leaving that truck. And then to see that interview, that kiss-ass propaganda interview with Joe Biden, that was the last straw. And I think I'm not alone here. That really turned off hardcore Stern fans from years ago. Because how big Stern was back in the 90s especially, that created such a bond and such a loyalty in the audience that it took a long time for people to throw that out. I know a lot of people that said, yeah, I know it's not different, but he's growing. He's maturing. He's changing as a radio guy. You can't do the shock jock thing and get older. But if you change into what he changed into, I don't care how hardcore a fan you are, you're just not going to enjoy what he's doing. And you're going to look at him and go, who is this guy? This isn't that guy. So I think we're going through a time in America that type of entertainer is looked down upon. We saw what the Democrats did. We saw what happened under the Biden administration. And for Howard, this, free speech advocate for so many years, First Amendment, crucified by the FCC. Remember that? He put out a whole thing. The FCC was censoring him. And then he actually said, I don't care about your free speech, to people that were talking about perhaps the COVID vaccine wasn't as good as they say it was, and some of the oppressive laws that were being put in place during COVID. People were speaking out about that, and Howard said, I don't care about your free speech. And that just crushed people. This is the free speech guy. Let me say what I want to say on the air. F the FCC, all that. So Trump had something to say about Colbert and then talked about Stern because he had done his show a few times. Let's listen to Trump talking about these guys.
I've got an entertainment-based question for you. A few weeks ago, Stephen Colbert announced that he was leaving his show. Howard Stern announced that he and Sirius XM Radio are parting ways. Do you think the hate Trump business model that's been in the entertainment business is going out of business because it's not popular with the American people?
Well, it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked really for a long time, and I would say pretty much from the beginning. Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here, I could go outside on the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that. Howard Stern is the name I haven't heard. I used to do a show. We used to have fun. But I haven't heard that name in a long time. What happened? He got terminated?
Yeah, they're going to separate ways because I think what they're offering salary-wise is real low than what he's getting.
You know when he went down?
Whenever you want.
You know when he went down? No, before. When he endorsed Hillary Clinton, he lost his audience.
Right.
People said, give me a break. He went down when he endorsed Hillary Clinton.